I'll do a live demo. So as I mentioned, we have both UI and API functionality. So briefly going on to kind of like the user interface of Relax. So it comes with, I'm going to try and copy and paste some prompts with one hand is particularly difficult, obviously. So with like web search turned off and just simply using the LLM, you can see it's able to summarize historical events, probably nothing too exciting you've seen, but what's interesting is kind of like the speed that Relax operates at. So things like time to first token and the tokens per second is exceptionally high on the benchmarks, like I talked about before, because it's driven by some of Meta's most powerful models, right? Again, do a one-hand copy and paste, just to show you the use of AI with code generation. So write me a Python script to benchmark my LLM. You see Relax kicks into gear straight away and gives you some really useful code, which is easy to copy and paste into your IDE. Finally, with web search. So if you've got some queries about live data, say you want to kind of like analyze the news today, or anything, the knowledge cut off of the model, we have web search enabled. And so you can use it, say, if you're from an academic background, scientific research background, or you're just doing research. I think what's particularly useful for even when I'm doing research is Relax will give you the URLs as well and citations, so it's really good for kind of like literature reviews. Let's give a really comprehensive report on machine learning. So that's a UI, that's what I kind of like wanted to review. And then the other part of the coin obviously is the API access that comes with Relax as well. I'll briefly go to our documentation for the API. Like I mentioned, we're really proud of our documentation just because it's really easy to follow. We offer one-to-one compatibility with the OpenAI client, allowing you to easily migrate your workloads. As you can see here, but this is what we're particularly proud of. So we offer a wealth of documentation on how to use integrations. Today, I'm going to be using Klein. So you can see these are just some steps to get up and running with whether it's a drag and drop workflow or whether it's an autonomous coding agent, whatever you guys feel fits. But I'm going to be using Klein today. Let's flip to VS Code. So what is Klein? Klein is a LLM-driven AI coding agent that plugs into VS Code. Driven by any LLM of your choice. Today we're going to be using Relax, obviously, and specifically we're going to be using the Maverick model. As you can see here, we put in a Relax endpoint API key and specified that we want to use Maverick, right? So here we are, and I'm going to give it a prompt which basically says something very simple. Write me a website and invite people to my birthday, and then do some extra functionality. The key part that I want to show you guys is to make to fill in all the gaps, right? So not only have I asked it to do that, I've asked it to make it into a Kubernetes deployment. I've asked it to make me a load balancer and also build a multi-platform Docker image. And here's my Docker username. Obviously, the traditional LLMs, when you go onto the user interface, aren't capable of doing that because they can't kind of like code alongside you. So straight away, you can see Relax is kind of like giving the reasoning behind what it's doing. And then again, further to my point earlier about getting everyone up and running with Relax and productive, I'm not really going to do anything. I'm literally just going to click the button over and over again. And you'll see it kicks in, it writes me all my code. There you go. It's not exactly slow. It's going to probably create me a Docker file and a Kubernetes deployment. This is a client issue. go. There you go, there's your file. And finally, we're probably just expecting a Kubernetes deployment. There's your Docker build file, and you can see it runs all the commands from the terminal as well. It's not exactly slow, so I basically just end-to-end coded a website. It's not exactly functional, but kind of to demonstrate the point in literally about 1 minute, right? There's your Docker image built. The client is going to play ball. Try it one more time. If not, I've got a example of this in practice. There you go. It's detecting issues with the Docker build. So once that's built, it's going to go to give you a Kubernetes deployment. And then if we grab this DNS, provided the pod's still up, it gave me something like this. So not exactly functional, but I think it basically demonstrates that with these plugin tools and autonomous coding agents, you can basically set up what you want very quickly. There it is. It's give you my Kubernetes deployment that I just need to deploy to get the website up and running. So what I'm trying to demonstrate there is you can use Relax for any project that you might want with these kind of like out-of-the-box tools, use the user interface or use the API for anything that you might need to do your business.